If you're going to be hiking in the winter or spring, you need a traction aid like spikes. But like me, are you tired of most spikes being heavy, clunky, and taking up a lot of room in your pack? Well, I have here the Black Diamond Blitz, which may solve all those problems and end up being your go-to spike when heading out on your hikes and backcountry trips. Before we get into the cons with these teeny tiny little ultralight spikes, let's talk about what's good about them. The first good thing with these spikes is the price. They're only $40, which is actually very affordable for a set of spikes from a name brand. The other big benefit is the weight. 126 grams or only 4.4 ounces for both spikes inside their little stuff sack. And packability is another big benefit. They pack down to smaller than a tennis ball, especially when you start squeezing them all together. And that's awesome if you just need to stick them in your pocket of your pack or even just in your pocket of your hiking pants when you're going up a trail. Something that I like that I find pairs really well with the packability and weight is how easy they are to put on and take off. In order to put them on, you just put this little band around the toe of your shoe or boot and then pull this rubberized band around the heel. And then in order to take them off, you just take this tab that's on the heel, pull, and you can take them off without even having to bend over. The next benefit with these spikes is comfort, and there's a few different reasons why I find them so comfortable. The first one being that the lightweight nature of these spikes is noticeable on your foot. You know the old saying, a pound on your foot is 5 pounds on your back? Well, these spikes weigh a third what most mainstream spikes weigh. The other noticeable thing I find with comfort has to do with the spikes. So there's fewer spikes and they're shorter than you'd find on a lot of other popular spikes out there. And I find that that creates less foot fatigue as I'm hiking and walking throughout the day. There is one negative with comfort, and that has to do with this band. If you're wearing trail runners, then you may feel the band over your toe and it may be slightly uncomfortable. If you're wearing boots like these Salomon Quest, then you're not gonna feel it and it's not gonna be a problem at all. And that takes us into the last benefit of these spikes, and that's versatility. And you can see here that I'm using the same spikes on both my trail runners and my boots. And that's pretty rare. Normally you have to get different sizes for whether you're using trail runners or boots. I have size 10.5 in both these Hoka Speed Goats and these Salomon Quests, and the size large of the Blitz fits both. Before we get into talking about the cons with the spikes, I want to talk a little bit about construction. So you have 3 pairs of spikes for a total of 6. Each of them is 8 millimeters long, and they're only located at the toe end. So there's no spikes on the heel at all. All of the spikes are connected with stainless steel chains, and then those connect to the webbing at the toe end, and then the TPE band at the heel end of the spikes. TPE stands for thermoplastic elastomer, and TPE is going to stay flexible and stretchy down to -30 degrees Celsius. And then you already saw this heel tab at the back here, and that helps you with putting the spikes on as well as taking them off. Moving on to what's bad about the spikes, the first thing is traction, and there's a couple different reasons why traction is compromised with these spikes. The first and obvious one is that there's no spikes on the heel, and where that really comes into play is when you're going downhill. You have to be making sure that your toe is landing first when you're going downhill. If your heel lands first, you're probably gonna slip and go for a tumble. The other factor with traction is that the spikes are pretty short. So while they're gonna work really well on ice, if you get into some hard packed snow or really soft ice, they might start to lose their grip a little bit. For me, I've been able to adjust to both of those factors. As I'm going down, I just make sure I'm staying on my toes. And then if I'm on soft ice or hard packed snow, then I just make sure I'm being a little bit more careful. The Black Diamond Blitz spikes are also not made for really technical terrain. The harness is not very robust, so if you're walking sideways on really hard ice, you're probably not going to get as much traction or stability as you would with a more robust harness. The other negative has to do with the warranty. Black Diamond only gave the Blitz spikes a 1-year warranty. I would have liked to see that be 2, 3, or 5 years. If you want a pair of spikes that's more robust and potentially handle more technical terrain, go check out this video where I compare the Cleats MICROSPIKES with an Amazon budget pair. The Amazon budget pair are only $6, whereas the Cleats are $75, and I go into whether it's worth paying that extra cost for the Cleats MICROSPIKES.